We are back today for chapter 2 of the Pequea HR 1140 hay rake that had the hitch was off by 3 feet in the front. When I bought it, I did notice has a new piece on it right here. So I don't know what happened, but that has been replaced. So I end up tearing this all apart trying to figure out why the hitch wasn't right. There's a piece of hex that goes down through this hole right here. That orientates your machine, and then just a 3/4 bolt comes up from the bottom. That keeps everything in line. And there's a piece of hex goes down through that hole, and it also goes down through your main cam there, and then that holds certain things into place, and the bearings inside there allow other things to spin. What we found was this piece of hex is bent really bad, or twisted. So that allowed the hitch to run out about 3.5 feet to the right. So I have ordered a new piece of hex. That's a pretty beefy piece of hex, but it is really soft. It's also drilled. It has a bolt that goes through right here that holds the top on, but this fitting right here, that allows hydraulic fluid to go in here, and it comes out the bottom. So they cross drilled that. Right there's where the hose hooks on the bottom. Now in the bottom here, up in there is a plug. So they drilled that through and then put a plug in it. And they just use that to run the hydraulic fluid to raise and lift for that cylinder right there. That's what that does. So that cylinder raises the entire rake up and down. But that is a Pequea, or whatever you want to say, 1140 with the hitch that was crooked. Everything else looks to be in good shape. I think we get a new hex that'll go right down in there. I also have new hoses coming, and this piece of hex right here. So it'd be interesting to put it back together, and then we have to make sure we get it orientated correctly, because this right here is the cam in there that throws the tines up and down. So that, if I put it back on the same way it came off, or really close to it, should be okay. But I'm hoping I can get it right, and then we'll have to spin it around and see where these tines are going to start to rise, whether they're in the right position or not. So that is the Pequea HR 1140 haymaker rake that has a problem of the hitch. And what holds it, those 5 bolt holes right there. And so when you put the hex up through there, it has to line up with one of those bolt holes. Also bought a new hex bushing. It is laying over there on the shelf. That also is drilled for hydraulic and a bolt through it to hold it. The other one I cut off is sitting right there. I had to cut that off with the cutting wheel to get it off of there. But that's my hay rake, and that's where I'm at with it. So I'm really hoping next week the piece of hex will be here. Can put that in, get the hydraulics all hooked up, get the new hoses on the bottom hooked to the cylinder, and then get the rotating tines and the cam all in the right spot. Thanks for watching.